I got this podcast, and it would mean a whole lot to me if you'd come and listen to me talk about great big double D's, with a bit of wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. And you can't forget about those RPGs. I rolled a crit. This one's for you nerds out there. Nuclear Clown Radio is on the air. Yeah. Nuclear Clown Radio's on the air. Oh my gosh, Becky, look at her butt. It is 2011, folks. So there you go. This just happens to be Nuclear Clown Radio, episode 11. And I am recording this on Tuesday, January 4th. So how is everybody? Good? Fantastic. You know, I have a lot of stuff to talk about today. And I would like very much if you would come with me. If you would sit with me and let me regale you with tales of Meatloaf and Burger King. One of the things I got for Christmas for myself, I got it as a gift for myself, was a Night Trap t-shirt, now which is showcased on my latest YouTube video where I review True Grit. And I spruced up. I took my one bath every couple of months, and I slipped on my Night Trap shirt to show to the world, because I'm proud of it. And I think I talked about it a couple episodes ago where I ordered this thing. And I didn't want to really talk about it until I actually got it. Because for all you without enormous weight problems out there, it's very hard for me to find shirts that I like. Because they'll either... I'm kind of trapped between two different levels of death-inviting obesity. So sometimes I'll get a shirt in size extra large, and sometimes it will fit me fine. Other times I'll get an extra large, and it will be like I'm wearing a bikini with my just massive heaving rolls of fat. Just like it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So. But then, you know, you could say, well, Dave, you can get extra X, 2XL stuff. And a lot of times, double extra large stuff on me will look like I'm wearing a giant flag of some kind. It will look really, really, really big. So I either have to gain like 100 pounds or lose like 50. And probably more going towards the gaining 100 at this point. But my point is, my clothes, and it depends on the manufacturer, I guess, because sometimes an extra large will fit me right, sometimes a double X will fit me right, sometimes neither will. So I was kind of worried. I'm always worried when I order, especially when I order shirts and I can't try them on beforehand. So I got a Night Trap extra large shirt. And it fits me fine, and I like it a lot. And I can't speak highly enough about the shirt. Now, if you want it, because I know you want to dress like me, I know you want to talk like me, I know you want to like what I like, listen. Be your own man, or be your own girl. You know, I know that nuclear clown fever is spreading throughout the U.S. and parts abroad. and especially Poland, It's just I see on the news people are gaining weight at a horrifying rate in Poland. Sales for McDonald's have just skyrocketed there, and many barbershops are out of business because everyone's shaving their head. Listen, be yourself in 2011. That's what I have to say to you. But it doesn't hurt to be like Dave a little bit. And I think that getting a Night Trap shirt for yourself would be pretty good thing. Just go on eBay. I would put a link to this directly. Maybe I will in the notes of the show. I don't know, probably. So go to eBay and you can just type in Night Trap T-shirt, and I'm sure you'll find it. It costs like $9 or $10, which is great, and the shipping is like $5, so you'll spend like $15 or $16, but your coolness factor will increase exponentially, my friends. So I would highly recommend you pick up a Night Trap shirt. Now, if they do a double switch shirt, we'll have to see about that one. But yes, Night Trap, you too can be like me, be like Mike or Dave. Oh, wait. Speaking of being like Mike, I was actually going to put this up on the website, but I don't know if... I decided against it because it's not really that... I don't know. I didn't put it up. But if you've seen those Hanes commercials with Michael Jordan and that guy, and they're on an airplane, and the guy's being ultra gay towards Michael Jordan and like, showing him his underwear and it's not very straight. But look at Michael Jackson. Mike, did I say Michael Jackson? Don't look at Michael Jackson because he's dead. Look at Michael Jordan. Okay? And I had to watch this a few times to kind of verify it, to make sure I wasn't simply making this up. Michael Jordan has the Hitler mustache of all Hitler mustaches. Or I guess mustache-eye? What's like a plural for mustache? Mustache-eye? I'll have to check my dictionaries, okay? But it's the most recent one. You could find it on YouTube. I did. And just put, like, I don't know, Michael Jordan, Hanes commercial, airplane. And it's a recent one. And when they show a close-up of Michael Jordan, he's got this little, like a Hitler mustache. It's smaller than he out-Hitlers Hitler with his facial hair. Now, I know a thing or two about bad facial hair. But man... that's bad. It's like, right. It's this little, if you put your thumb right under your nose, it can't be wider than that. It's like this little square of hair on his upper lip. Weird, man. Like, how did that pass? Did he show up and they were like, yeah, Mike, you look good. Take a seat. Is the flight on the Luftwaffe Airlines? He looks ridiculous, man. And you know what? Now I have to say something, because Michael Jordan, as a member of the bald community, my community now, you can't make us look like this. I mean, you have to really put on... I mean, when I go out in public, I represent our people well. You are this is bad. This is bad PR. So I'm going to call Michael Jordan, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to tell him, man, listen, you can't keep doing this. But so, you got to see it, though. It's fucking weird. It really is goofy. And yeah, go on YouTube and look it up. I guess no, I'm not going to put the link up. It's not it's funny, but it's not, I don't think it's tremendously funny. It's just weird. I don't promote Nazism on my site. But, go check it out. It's a little goofy. A little goofy, indeed. And as I said, because I know people out there, little girls writing in their diary, oh, dear diary. I wonder what Dave did on New Year's. Hopefully he'll talk about it. And you're in luck. little Susie McNichols, because I am going to tell you what I did on my New Year's. Much like I said, because if Dave says it, you can bank on it 3 out of 10 times. So I sat at home and I watched the Twilight Zone marathon on I forget what channel. I think Sci-Fi Channel. It used to be on Channel 11. I don't think they do it on Channel 11 anymore, but it was on the Sci-Fi Network. And the thing about the Twilight Zone, and I wrote a little bit about this. I posted up one of my favorite episodes of all time. My other one being the one with Burgess Meredith, Penguin from Batman, where he likes to read a lot, but he never has any time to read, and his wife yells at him for reading for some reason, because I guess she's a barbarian or something. But so he never has time to read, and on his breaks at work, I think he worked at a bank, and on his breaks he'd go in the vault and he'd read there. And one day where he's in the vault, a nuclear disaster happens, which, trust me, buddy, I've been there. And you know what? Hiding in the refrigerator doesn't fucking work. You're going to need something a little bit sturdier. And so there's a big war, and he's the last person on Earth. And he's walking around, and he finally finds a library. And, he has all the time in the world, and then he goes to sit down and read, and then he breaks his glasses, and he can't see anything. I love that one, too. That was one of my favorites. And Burgess Meredith was also in... He's been in a few of them. A few people have kind of double-dipped in the Twilight Zone and been in multiple episodes. He was in another one where they gave him super strength, and I didn't really like that. Like, Martians... Oh, my God. The first burp of the new year is ghastly sounding. Man, I should get that checked out. But aliens come down, and freaky, the weirdest looking, like, two-headed alien that gives me the creeps comes down and gives him super strength, and they observe him and shit. It wasn't that good an episode, but he's been in a few. William Shatner's been in a few also. But anyway, I want to talk about William Shatner, because he was in this episode, and not the famous one that everybody knows, like the one where he's on the plane and he sees a monster on the wing and he starts freaking out. Not that one. But the other one he was in, where him and I think it was his wife, are in this town, and they're in a diner, and there's a little machine, like a little fortune-telling machine that gives you answers to questions, and he gets weirdly obsessed with it, and it's got a little freaky devil head on it. The freaky devil head on top of the thing was scary enough. It was just cheap and tacky looking, which equals fucking horrifying to me. And I don't know, I didn't like the episode too much. I didn't think it was that good, but 2 points really stood out to me that I want to talk about. His wife in that episode did not look good at all. At all. I mean, if you could find it on YouTube, I don't know what it's called. But his wife looked kind of... I mean, it's William Shatner when he was young, man. It's a good-looking guy, right? And the 60s, I fully believe, was just filled with hot women. I mean, that's just all there were. Whenever I see shit from the 60s, besides, hippie crap, the vast majority of the girls are very, very nice to look at. And I really have a problem that they couldn't find a hotter girl for Captain fucking Kirk, man. Come on. They could have hired an Orion. It's black and white. Nobody's gonna know. Anyway, his wife, it was remarkable how unattractive she was and how poor of a couple they made, because I don't her eyebrows were kind of weird and bushy. She looked kind of like in the old werewolf movies, when the person was changing into a werewolf and they go through those stages, but it's not they don't meld together, and it's poorly done, and it's just little snippets of video of each stage of them changing. She looked maybe a fourth of the way changed into a fucking she-beast. Not a very pretty girl. And I mean, I'm the last person to make fun of ugly people, because I am not only a member, I am the president of the club. But, it's kind of like a racial thing, where you can make fun of members of your own race, but nobody, other people can't. So since I'm ugly, I can talk about other ugly people. That's just how it goes. I mean, look it up. I did. So, in one part, she's like, Bob, I forget what his name is, but she's like, let's just get out of here. Forget this evil devil machine. Let's just go. And William Shatner grabs her and he walks her out of the diner. And it's funny because this really caught me off guard. He said, "Oh, don't treat me like I'm some kind of retarded child." And I started laughing and laughing and laughing because, I don't know, I guess in today's, politically correct climate and stuff, to hear somebody say, "Don't treat me like a retarded child," in anger, it shocked me for a moment. So I wrote a letter to the network and I said, I want this crap off the air. So next year, folks, no Twilight Zone marathon for anyone ever again because of my letter, because I'm deeply offended. But it was something kind of like, I don't know. It was just very, very, very strange to hear that. And it was really funny. It really cracked me up when he said that. Don't treat me like a retarded child. And I mean, who would? Because he'll do the Starfleet Federation double axe handle punch to the fucking face, man. God. So I saw a lot of the Twilight Zone marathon. And, there were some good ones. A lot of them weren't really that good. It's, the Twilight Zone, as good as a show as it is when it's on point, it is formulaic. You sit through 25 minutes of a scenario, a situation, and then in the last minute or so, there's the big twist at the end. And they all kind of follow that formula, and some do it better than others. But, fun. I had fun. I enjoyed myself. And I hope your New Year's Eve was good, and I hope you didn't do anything silly. And I hope that everyone's all right, and that 2011 is a year filled with bagels. Let's say bagels. Because I kind of like bagels. They're not bad. They're not too bad. But as I sit here now, I'm in pain. Well, I'm not really in pain. That's exaggerating. But, I think that I'm going to do a review. I didn't want to do this because I know nobody cares. But there's that thing, the head blade, right? Which is specially made for bald people like me who want to shave their head. Now, it's a real cool little device. It's got wheels on it, and you slide it across your head, and it's specially made for that. And it's pretty, and it's sexy, and it looks neat. It looks like a Batman toy, like a utility belt thing. And they have all these products for it and stuff like that. And of course, I'm just a goddamn sucker for marketing and advertising and all that good stuff. But I think I will review the head blade for fellow bald people out there. And I know that the people who normally watch my stuff don't care about me reviewing what I use to shave my head. But I think someone needs to tell the tale. Because the head blade will fuck you up bad, man. It delivers a very close shave. And as long as you're very, very careful with it, you should be alright. And as long as you take your time, and by time I mean days, you should leave there with all of your blood in your head. I'm not so fortunate. And what's strange, when you cut yourself shaving and you're like, oh, a little nick or whatever. No. The head blade, there's no such thing as a little nick, a little small accident with the head blade. There are two levels of damage a head blade can do for you. One is you need stitches, and two is you are decapitated. When I on the side of my head right now as we speak, I'm stroking it like I've had a lobotomy. I have a gouge in my head. This thing fucked me up so bad, and it doesn't cut you like, you know, like a razor on. Oh, I cut myself shaving. No, you don't cut yourself shaving with the head blade. You fucking wound yourself shaving with the head blade. And I'm gonna tell you a gross story, but when the first time I used the head blade, I had what we call in the business a blood towel, like an actual towel, like a shower, you know, like when you get out of the shower, a towel, not like a little hand towel, a fucking towel that was just covered in blood, cuz I would scalp myself trying to shave my head with this fucking thing. Now, I've watched a bunch of reviews on how to use it on YouTube. I've watched videos, I've read shit about it. And all of them say you have to be very careful and take your time with the head blade or you will cut yourself bad. Everybody says it, but and you know, I'm not the most patient man. I'm not a smart man. I'm probably not even a real man. I'm like a child. I'm kind of like a retarded child that William Shatner would not want to be treated like, and yell at his unattractive wife for being treated like. But I guess the penalty for messing up with the head blade should not be so severe. I mean, if you cut yourself with the head blade, it's going to be ugly and you're going to be bloody. And when you cut yourself on your fucking head, it does not stop to bleed. It just doesn't. So I don't mean to be gross and to, you know, be graphic with this, but man, I don't really think I'm going to be using the head blade much anymore because, man, it delivers a close shave, which is what you want, and it's cool, it's nifty to use, but pretty much on any review I've seen and using it myself, you'd use the head blade for most of your head, and then you'd go in with another razor to get the finer areas that the head blade will fucking kill you if you try to get. Like, the little crease in the back of your head, you know, the big hot dog rolls that fat people like me have on the back of our necks. If you do that with the head blade, you're gonna leave a few pounds lighter, and you're gonna leave lumps of flesh in the sink, cause shit's rough, man. So, and what I don't get is like, all right, if I'm gonna end up using another blade, like if I'm gonna shave 90% of my head with the head blade, and then do the other 10% with another razor, why not just use another razor? I don't know. I want to really like the head blade. I want to keep using it because it's so cool looking, but it's not worth the wounds I have. I have battle scars from using the head blade. It's crazy. I look like a goddamn Zamitzi when I come out of the fucking bathroom after shaving my head. And you know, like the head blade, the head blade shaving cream they have is awesome. That I would recommend to anyone. And they have like the glossy lotion thing that you put on your head to make it shiny, and I use that too, and that's cool. But I mean, the products are neat for bald people, but the actual head blade is in the razor itself. The penalty for even the slightest fuck up is so severe. And I mean, I can imagine if you were like a businessman or something. I have nothing to do, you know. So if you're like a businessman and you're, you know, going to work, or you have an important meeting and you want to shave your head, make it look, you know, nice and smooth, and you just gouge yourself with this head blade, A, it's going to take forever to stop bleeding, and B, you're going to have a huge mark on your head. I'm tempted to take a picture of this. It's like a burn slash gouge in the side of my head from the head blade, and it is fucking brutal. And I've done this before, and I mean, you can either spend 2 hours shaving your head if you have that kind of time, or you can become religious and pray before you use the head blade, just in case. I don't know. I'm going to have to say I'm probably not going to use the head blade anymore, because I mean, and I know they have different razors for it. They have 2-bladed razors and 3-bladed razors. And I've heard that the 2-bladed razors are much safer, I guess, but I don't know. It's that thing hurts a lot when you cut yourself, and these are not little, oh wow, I nicked myself. No, you're walking out of there in you're crawling out in a body bag if you use a head blade and you're not meticulously careful. And even if you manage to finish shaving your head and live, if you manage to get by without grazing yourself, without a flesh wound, you're still going to have to use another razor to get, behind the ears and like the real finer points, So I don't know, man. I've just given it shot after shot. I've used it when it was sharp and I've cut myself. I've used it when it was dull and I've cut myself. I don't know. I just don't know. Keep the head blade away from children. And that is my public service announcement for 2010. And yes, last week I was talking about Gangland, that show. And part of the reason why I like it so much, I don't know. The idea of a gang, well, not so much a gang, but an organization or a secret society. I've always absolutely loved the idea of being a member in something, being a member of a group. And gangs are kind of like that, I guess, but I'm not very violent, and I'd make a poor criminal because I have greasy fingers which would leave big, huge fingerprints everywhere. And I cry a lot, and I break under pressure. So, I'd make a very poor criminal if I was ever caught. Well, when I would get caught if I was a criminal. But, like, for example, I wanted to be a Freemason. For such a long time, I even went to the website and was reading up because I want to be a part of a group. But the Freemason, I mean, weren't they founded by, like, a KKK guy or something? And they've got some kind of bad association with them, I guess. Even though, who knows what's rumor, who knows what's fact. My point is, I want to be a part of a secret organization. Is that so much to ask? I mean, really. I don't ask for much, and God knows I don't get it. Just let me be a part of a secret society of some kind, right? And, they had, like, the Skull and Bones for, what is it, Yale, I think? Like, the president was in it and all that stuff. But, I'm not in college. I'm not intelligent. So I can't be a part of that. So what's a guy to do? All I want to do is be a part of something, be a part of a group, be a part of something cool and sexy and secret. That's all. God damn it. So I thought about it. And I guess trying to, well, I can't be a Freemason because I think they have standards or something like that. But, so I thought, why don't I start my own secret society? I could start my own. And, we could have a cool symbol, and we could have, like, a fucking charter, whatever that means, and we can have rules. I guess, no, isn't rules a charter? Isn't that, whatever. But what I'm saying is, getting myself tied in with an organization, I don't know their roots or whatever, the Freemasons are kind of, I don't know, shady if you believe a lot of the stuff you read about them. So, why can't I start my own? Someone started all these other things, and they didn't have anything I don't have, except, brains and money and stuff like that. So I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I could make a secret society. And maybe you guys out there in Radio Gaga land can help me. What I want to do is I want to put together, like, rules for being in our secret society. And, we can have, like, rituals and stuff like that we do and that we make up. And we can have ranks in the society. We have to have some kind of, what's the word? Why can't I think of this? mission statement. Yeah, mission statement as to actually what we do. And we can leak all kinds of misinformation, so we have like sexy rumors about what we're up to, and then we can deny it when we're interviewed by the news. But nobody's gonna interview us. But my point is, I want to start something. We could even have our own language, our own code, and stuff like that. And I can have like members apply through email and stuff like that. And I can even have some members on the show via Skype. That would be pretty neat. And it'll kind of be like these will be our weekly, hourly meetings, where we discuss important news of the day like Night Trap. I really want to do this. And I was actually sitting down, I was trying to think of names for it. Because you need you need a spiffy name for your organization, and you need something that's not taken, and you need something that, that sounds cool, that people would want to be a part of. So, I don't know. If you could think of anything, let me know, leave a comment or something. And we can, together, we can forge a brand new secret society. And now that I can be heard all over the world, Denmark, Croatia, Sweden, right? Australia even. Good day, all you well, I think there's like one Australian view that I've had on my site. But thank you. It was probably an accident, but thank you. Good on ya. And we can make our secret society inter-fucking-national. How cool would that be? Now, all I have to do is, well, everything. All I have to do about this is everything. But I have the idea, and I want you to help me create my secret society, and maybe you can even be in it, and that would be something, wouldn't it? So I'm gonna really try to come up with a cool name. Maybe we'll stay with the irradiated theme. I don't know, like let's see, like the irradiated circle, or something like that, something cryptic and cool sounding. So like 1,000 years from now, when archaeologists just get done getting blown up and they hide in refrigerators and they somehow don't die, and they dig up my house, and they're like, ooh, he was a member, he was the founder of the secretive society, blah 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 blah. And we'll have our own symbols, and I'll get the symbol tattooed on my face, and I'm sure you all will too. Right? You promise? But I'm excited. I think it's neat. I always wanted to be a part of something, Isn't that what everybody wants? To be a part of something? Be a part of a group, an organization of good folks. Right? So, I want to sit down, and I really want to get this going. I want to have amendments and rules and stuff like that, and even little rituals we could all do, and it'll be fucking sweet. Maybe even holidays, right? We can make our own holidays. I mean, why not? Right? Why not? Hell, so people make up religions, they make up philosophies, they make up this or that. So let's fucking do it. I got nothing but time and hot dogs. So who wants hot dogs? Everybody. Actually, I haven't, with hot... I'm not going to say I don't like that fancy, spicy Dijon mustard. It's not particularly my favorite. Particularly. I did it again. I just speed through words. It's not my favorite. I'll eat it, I guess. But I prefer just plain yellow mustard to the fancy kind of spicy hot kind. I don't really like a lot of spicy hot stuff. But yeah, Secret Society, let's do it. Rule number 1, no hot mustard. No, hot mustard is all right, cuz it's weird because I like the hot mustard sauce from McDonald's, but I don't normally prefer like the spicy mustard. I don't know what it is. So, rule number 1, unless it's hot mustard from McDonald's, thou shalt only eat yellow mustard. Honey mustard's okay too, but you can't really call that mustard. Anyway, moving on. I went to the Mongolian buffet like 9 times, and I saw something incredible there. I don't know how many of you are wrestling fans, but at the Mongolian Buffet, I'm walking around, and I walked past a gentleman who was wearing an NWO Wolfpack sweater. Now, if you were a wrestling fan in the mid-90s and, you know, like towards the end of the 90s, WCW and the NWO were huge, right? It was great. It was cool. The shirts were awesome. It was actually like cool to be a wrestling fan. It was mainstream for a few years. And you know, you could find wrestling shirts all over the place. But this is 2011 now, folks. You can't do shit like that anymore. Unless you're kidding. Or unless it's a Night Trap shirt. Not only was it an NWO shirt, which is amazing to see. You know, somebody wearing an NWO merchandise thing. Not only was it that, but it was a Wolfpack one. Remember when the NWO split and there were NWO black and white and NWO black and red? Right? And it was like the Wolfpack versus the normal NWO. It was a red and black NWO shirt. Or no, and it wasn't even a shirt, it was a sweater. A long sleeve fucking sweater. If it was a shirt, you know, that would have been fun enough. That would have been just really, really good. But a sweater. The only thing that would have been better is if he had an NWO Wolfpack starter jacket. You remember the big starter jackets I talked about before? A while ago? I couldn't fucking believe it, man. I was sitting there with my 8th plate of food, and I looked at this guy and I said, man, that guy is cool as shit. And as I walked past him, I was so tempted to throw up the Wolfpack symbol and see if he did it back. But, you know, I was always NWO black and white. I wasn't black and red. So we might have had some conflict. You know, I don't want to get into a brawl at the Mongolian Buffet, namely because maybe they won't let me back in. And then what am I going to do with myself? But I had to share that, man. It was ridiculous. It was out of control funny. An NWO red and black sweater. Long sleeve black sweater. Ugh. Wow. What a way to kick off the new year, huh? Okay, I'm done. I'm done with my with my NWO Wolfpack sweater sighting. I wanna talk about No, actually, you know what? More wrestling stuff. A little thing. On TNA this past week, Madison Rayne came out in like a beauty queen kind of gown, and she had like guys in tuxedos carrying her to the ring. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. It was really different, and I hope she sticks with it. I don't think she's going to. But that whole like elegant beauty queen motif gimmick type thing is something that, well, I guess you could say they did that with Deborah a long time ago. But, I mean, I haven't seen it in a bit. And for some reason, it was actually, it seemed to me like less like a beauty queen thing and more like a really elegant Hollywood actress type, you know, with the evening gown and the long gloves on. I don't know, she seemed really classy and funny. She was being really funny, well, until she started talking. And then she would screech every other word, and it kind of, you know, calm down. You had me, but then you had to talk. Like most girls out there, you had me, and then you had to talk. But I like that. I hope she sticks with it. I don't think she will, though. I think it was maybe a one-time thing. But the thing with girls in wrestling, and I know nobody cares about girls in wrestling, you know, but they have way too many, and this is Universal, this is TNA, this is WWE, whatever. There's no reason that girls in wrestling can't each have their own kind of thing, their own kind of flavor to them, right? because women's wrestling isn't exactly popular. It's not exactly I guess nobody really cares too much about it. You know, and most times they just throw the girls out there and the match is horrible. It's just, you know, you throw girls out there to get, you know, guys like me to beat off. And I'll tell you, it doesn't work anymore. Because it's 2011 now, and if I see a girl on TV, if I see two girls rolling around in a wrestling ring, you know, whatever, that's fine, I guess. But if I want to see porn, like, I could turn on my computer and in 2 seconds be balls deep in, like, the freakiest, most disturbing, disgusting, like, whatever I want to see a girl do or see somebody do to a girl is a click away for free. It costs me nothing but a second of my time. By the time both girls' ring entrances are done, I would have already completed masturbating to the sickest porn you could possibly imagine, right? My point is, I am a pervert, and B, you know, you can't. They say that sex sells, and that's, you know, it does. Obviously, it does. But stuff like that, especially I listen to podcasts, and sometimes they'll have like girls on, and they'll be like, "Oh, so you know, tell us a sexy story." Like, "Oh well, one time I was blowing this guy, and the host will be like, whoa, that's hot." All right, it's a podcast. It's a radio show. If I can't see the hot girl, she's just annoying. It's just annoying. You know, like on Howard Stern, they'll have naked girls in the studio. Like, all right, that was hot, I guess, and that was innovative in 1990. But with the internet, it means nothing. It means less than nothing now. It would be like if I put on a porno movie right now and turned on the microphone and recorded it. Pornography is within the range of anyone now. It's not like it was when I was a kid, when you had to, you know, sneak the fucking Sears catalog, or no, you know, the catalog with the fucking bras in it and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore. Believe me. You know, the world of Hooters is completely open to everyone. So having you know, my point is, like, showing girls rolling around in skimpy outfits on TV, you know, whatever. If I wanted to, and you know, people will say, "What are you, gay? You don't like girls in skimpy outfits?" Of course I do. But when I watch wrestling, I don't like. If I wanted to watch hot girls, I'll watch hot girls getting fucked. Like, legit getting fucked. Really getting fucked. So, I don't know. It's just childish and stupid, and to me it seems behind the times. Not because, you know, oh, we're an advanced society and women aren't sex objects, blah, 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 blah. No, nothing like that. It seems behind the times because, man, if somebody wants to watch hot girls, they can do it easier. They can do it more explicit than watching fucking wrestling. I mean, when I'm watching wrestling, I want to watch wrestling, okay? That's it. When I don't watch the Home Shopping channel to masturbate to the models of the clothes. Well, not anymore. I used to when I was a kid. But that's because I had no choice. You see? It was either that or Counselor Troy on Star Trek, and I'm not even really that into Counselor Troy. You had to make do with what you had. Now, these young whippersnappers can type up anyone they want and watch, you know, the hardest of hardcore scenes with them, and I get their jollies to that. While I was, you know, I had to settle for KD Lang videos and shit. Stuff I'm not proud of, by the way. But I had no choice. You know, my mom was going to be home in 10 minutes. So Rhonda Shear and USA Up All Night had to do. She had to do. My point. Stay in school, kids. So anyway, the, you know, the thing with female wrestling, in my opinion, in WWE and TNA, so much of the quote unquote, you know, it's like you see a wrestler, you're like, all right, what's their thing? What are they about? Oh, that's TV man. He comes he comes to the ring with a TV on his head, and he's a bad guy, so he hits his opponent with a TV remote, and that's how he wins. Okay, that's TV man. What about this guy? That's chicken man. He lays eggs. Chicken man. Okay. You know, you need like a character. You need some kind of gimmick. You know, you can't just have Robert Jones, the wrestler. I mean, which TNA has. They have their boring ass, just regular fucking guys going out there, you know. Now, I'm not saying it has to be corny. I'm not saying you need like Knuckleball Schwartz like they used to have in WWF. But, like, every girl should be different. This rule should apply so much more to the women because, hey, let's face it, they don't really, on average, they don't have the quality of matches that the men do. So when the women come out, they should be all about the character, all about the performance, since they can't really, for the most part, stack up to what the men can do in the ring, right? So currently, in TNA and WWE, you have 90% of the girls are just like, well, what are you about? Oh, I'm hot. All right, I get that, but like, what's your deal? What makes you different than everybody else? No. I'm really hot. Ugh. So my point is, with Madison Rayne, I hope she sticks with this kind of glamorous Hollywood out. Like, it stood out to me where Madison Rayne, previous to this, was always, oh, look, it's another girl in a whore outfit, you know, caked and covered in makeup on wrestling TV. They're all the same. There's nothing different or unique really about any of these girls. You know, like with Daphne, you know, I love Daphne. I think she's yummy. But she's got the whole goth thing going. You know, that's different. That's unique. So of course TNA doesn't use her and they don't put her on TV. But they'll put, you know, JWoww and Jenna Maraska, whoever the fuck that is, I don't know. So I did like the Madison Rayne thing, and I hope she sticks with it, because it makes her different. I mean, just like Jeff Jarrett with the MMA thing, a lot of people hate it. A lot of wrestling sites shit all over it, and they're like, oh, why are you making fun of MMA? Because MMA is so much better than you. It's funny, man. Like, not everything has to be rocket science. It is pro wrestling. You're not exactly out, you know, for a night at the opera. I don't know, that snobbery in wrestling, to me, is so goofy. It's so silly. I mean, we all like wrestling, right? So why are people like, oh, well, that match was not even a 2-star match. I don't really prefer this type of wrestling. I prefer a nice dip of caviar before Abyss comes out. I mean, give me a fucking break, right? It's pro wrestling, right? This isn't exactly cool. This isn't exactly hep. It's just fun. It's just stupid and mindless fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I hate snobbery, you know, in wrestling. It's retarded. So I hope she sticks with that, and I like, you know, because, you know, Madison Rayne before this, I didn't give a shit about her, but now that she's doing the thing, it's funny. She comes out with the guys in tuxedos. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Excuse me. So, you know, I'd like to see more of that. Jeff Jarrett with the MMA thing. I never liked Jeff Jarrett at all, ever. But it makes me laugh, so I like it. And it's different. And really, that's all you need to do. I wish that a lot more people in TNA would follow the lead and do something different. Like Rob Van Dam, fucking come on. Comes out wearing the same shit he wore in 1994. Same hairstyle, same moves, same everything. Way he talks. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And my voice cracked again. It's so hard to talk about a manly thing like wrestling when my voice keeps cracking. So anyway, another thing about TNA. I don't know why I'm talking about the girls in TNA so much this week. Maybe because the guys in TNA are doing nothing. But Sarita is apparently bad again. After she was good, and then she was bad, and then she was good, I guess, and now I guess she's bad again. And it's funny because they show Sarita, and she's walking around in the back, and she's got a pissed off look on her face. And the interview guy is like, Sarita, what's your problem? And she's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fight Velvet Sky, and you know what she's gonna get? And then she holds up like a big leather strap and she snaps it, and she's like, she's gonna snap into it. Ooh yeah. No, actually she didn't say that. But she says she's gonna I'm gonna whip that cunt in her fucking head or something like that. So it's gonna be a strap match, right? And you're like, whoa, Sarita's fucking pissed, man. She's gonna go out there and kick some ass. So commercial break, they come back. Velvet Sky's already in the ring. Then Sarita comes out, and like the whole a strap match or whatever. They take a big thick leather strap, like a big belt kind of deal, and it's like, I don't know, 10 feet long, and they tie the wrestlers together. They by the wrist, so that they're tied to each other or whatever. Much like the scene in Beat It, where they tie their hands together and they have a knife fight, except with no knives, no music, and the strap is 10 feet long. Otherwise, exactly the same. So Sarita comes to the ring. Velvet Sky's already in the ring, and Sarita's like, the ref is trying to put the strap on Sarita's wrist, and Sarita's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fight that crazy bitch. No way. She's gonna hurt me. But 2 minutes earlier, Sarita was all about kicking the... I didn't understand what happened, but somehow, between the commercial break and when they came back, she had a complete change of heart. I don't understand it, but it stood out to me. And so they have their retarded match, and they totally steal the Eddie Guerrero JBL finish. By the way, and then all of a sudden, Angelina Love comes out and starts beating up Sarita. Then Winter comes out and beats up Sarita. I don't know, like in the next 2 minutes, like 3 girls are beating up Sarita. And they call Sarita, while they're beating her up, they're yelling at her, and they're calling Sarita a bully. Two things just happened that I just said that made absolutely no sense, right? Sarita comes out, she's all pissed off, she's gonna kick her ass, and then commercial break, then she comes back, I'm not fighting her, I thought you were talking about somebody else. And then Sarita's getting beat up by 3 people, yet somehow she's the bully? It's like if I leave my house and somebody hits me with a car and then drives over me and backs up over me again while calling me an aggressive driver when I'm not even in a car. It makes no sense. But, that's TNA for you. So they're doing their stuff, and Sarita's a bully when she's getting beat up by 3 people, and I saw a guy with the Wolfpack red and black sweater. Lisa needs braces. Dental plan, sweater. Lisa needs braces. Sweater, dental plan, Wolfpack. Oh, okay. That's it for wrestling. I got nothing more to say about wrestling right now. But you know what I want to talk about? A couple of episodes ago, I talked about a segment I wanted to do every now and again called Hollywood Hatred. And the first member of the Hollywood Hatred Club was Seth Rogen, because I hate his guts. I hate every gut he has. I've got a new addition to that club, and it's Russell Brand. I don't like Russell Brand. I don't think he's funny. I think he's really, really obnoxious. I think he is tremendously grating on one's nerves. And don't get me wrong, I've never seen any of his movies. Ever. My exposure to Russell Brand, I listened to some interviews with him. And he's really annoying. I've seen him in previews for his movies, and he's really annoying. And I've seen very, very small clips of his quote-unquote stand-up. Very annoying. For those of you who don't know, he's also going to take the role of Arthur in the remake of the movie Arthur from the 80s. So we all know that's going to be a hulking pile of manure. Right? We know that? Can we agree? And I know what you're going to say. And you got a point. You know, like, how can you hate somebody when you've never seen his... I mean, his movies may be funny. Maybe he's hilarious in his movies. I don't know. I don't care to know. I just hate him. I don't think, from what I've seen, he seems obnoxious and unfunny to the 12th or 13th power. But Russell Brand... He did one thing right in his life, I guess. I mean, he's famous. He's more famous than me, so I'll give him that. And he married Katy Perry. And I love Katy Perry. She's got great boobs. Yeah. I'm down. I like it, right? What? She has music? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care what she does. Means nothing to me, her music, I don't know. But I like the way she looks. I think she looks very nice. Except a lot of times they put her in the stupid wigs. I mean, I don't know. You gotta get the right picture of her, I feel. I hate all her goofy outfits and shit. But anyway, I like boobs. She's got great boobs. So Katy Perry is alright by me. And somehow, through some trick of the cosmos, she ended up marrying Russell Brand. Because I assume she likes unfunny, annoying people. Now, if she likes unfunny, annoying, fat, bald people, maybe circumstances would be different. But it turns out she likes her annoying, unfunny people with shitty hair and eyeliner. A while ago, maybe last week or so, I was on a forum and I saw... Russell Brand took a picture of his wife, Katy Perry. Not her boobs. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. But he took a picture of his wife, Katy Perry, in bed. You know, just whatever. No makeup or nothing. Just, just in bed. And she's making a funny face. And I think, Well, first, he tweeted the picture. He took a picture of her in bed with no makeup or anything like that, making a silly face, and then he tweeted it. And from what I understand, he took it down shortly after, because his wife probably flipped the fuck out. Now, you don't really have to be a movie star or a pop singer or even a slut to know that, girls don't want people taking pictures of them when they're in bed because they don't look their best and this or that, especially I mean, you wouldn't do that to anyone. I wouldn't do that to my mom. Take a picture of my mom in the morning and put it online, right? It's rude, it's stupid. But he did it to his wife, who is a famous celebrity renowned for her looks and her awesome fucking thirst bags. And then he took it down because she probably went ape shit, and rightfully so. Because it's a stupid fucking thing to do. And, but anyway. On the forum where I saw this picture, a lot of the people were like, ugh, she looks fucking gross. Ah, no makeup? Ugh. You mean she doesn't totally do her makeup and hair and dress in an expensive evening gown and then go to bed? Ugh. I sleep in a Denver Broncos jersey with no underwear. I've seen the picture. I have the picture. And I think she looks adorable. She's making this little face. And, you know, me personally, I hate when girls are all made up, you know, with fucking layers and caked on makeup. It looks retarded. It looks tacky and disgusting, and I don't know. So to see a girl with no makeup, I don't care. I don't mind. Actually, I kind of prefer it. I guess a little is okay, but I mean, you know, it gets ridiculous. And I think she looks really, 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 really cute. But, you know, people on it were like, oh, she's fucking gross. Oh, my God. Come on. Don't be fucking stupid. Right? Now, I am tempted to actually put the picture on the website, but that would kind of make me guilty in all this too, because I just got done saying what a fuck up Russell Brand is for putting up the picture. And then what do? I get the picture and I put it up on the website. I mean, I really don't think it looks bad at all. I don't think there's anything embarrassing about it. You just see her face. She's not naked. All you see is her face, and that's it, right? And I think she looks cute as a button. I think she look. I have it up on my computer now, and she's looking at me with those. Oh, they're so cute. Her cute little eyes, and they're hooters. But anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to put the picture up. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking about a lot of shit like Michael Jordan's Hitler mustache, who I never would have thought I'd say those words. But I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff that I'm not showing. If you wanna see it, just, I don't know, I guess just like comment or something, leave an email, leave your email and comment. I'll send you during email. Or you can Google Katy Perry without makeup. I don't know how, I guess it's all over the internet, I guess. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try right now to see how easy this thing is to find. If you'll excuse me for one moment while I do other things besides try to entertain you. Google Katy Perry. Katy Perry without makeup. Okay. I can't. Alright, I don't see it there. Oh, wait, it is there. Okay. If you Google Katy Perry without makeup and you scroll down a bit, you'll see the picture I'm talking about. It kind of looks like a little, almost like a little night vision action, but it's not. But, you know, you could definitely tell. It's all over the place. Yeah, you could definitely tell what I'm talking about. And, you know, whatever. She looks fine. What's the fucking problem? People are so stupid. Like, oh, she's supposed to do the full makeup thing and then go to bed and wake up. She just wakes up like that, right? No, I wake up like this, okay? She's got, you know, things to... She has a little thing called, you know, self-esteem. She likes to look nice and pretty. She takes time on it. But I just hated that. People would be so dumb. Oh, God, I knew she was fucking ugly. What? Really? Like, people make it sound like the picture was of me. Like, hey, did you see Katy Perry without makeup? And then they show a picture of my big, fat head. Bunch of dick wolves, right? Anyway, Katy, you know what? I like you. I think you're pretty. I think you look nice even without makeup. I think you're cute. You look adorable without makeup. So there. Take that, world. Ha! And you know what? That's a prerequisite to be in my secret society. You have to think that Katy Perry without makeup looked adorable. If you don't think that, I'm sorry. We can't use you. We just cannot use you. Oh man, I've been meaning to tell you two stories for a really long time, but I just kept just time. There's just never enough time, like Burgess Meredith in the Twilight Zone, right? There's just never enough time to sit and read. So I've been meaning to tell you two stories about me when I was young. You know, back when I had a chance. When I was 18 years old, these stories kind of roll into each other. So you'll forgive me if I'm kind of all over the place. When I turned 18, I wanted to do everything that I could possibly do now that I was 18. A whole new world of opportunity opened up for me, right? So I wanted to do everything I was now allowed to do, with the exception of course, getting arrested. So when I was 18, I went out, I bought a pack of cigarettes. I didn't smoke. I don't smoke. But I got a pack of cigarettes just because I could. And, I would quote unquote smoke them at a place I was working at. And I wasn't even smoking them. I would light it, and then I would hold the smoke in my mouth, blow it out, and I'd finish a cigarette in about 5 seconds. And I'd go through a pack in 10 minutes. But I wanted to do it just because I was now legally allowed to, right? So I did that. And I went out and I bought some dirty girly magazines, right? And I rented porn movies, because I wanted to, because I was 18 and I could, goddammit. Those places that said must be 18 or older, I could now go there, friends. And I did. So, I went and I got some magazines and I got some movies and crap like that. And, my parents were going away on vacation, right? They were going to be gone for a week or so. So I thought, all right, you know what? I can really do something very, very cool for my little 18-year-old kick. And, a strip clubs. I went to a strip club. I was doing everything. So I said I should call for a stripper to come to my house, right? And do this for me, right? That it'll be really, really cool. So I was looking. Keep in mind, this is 1998. And while the internet was around, it wasn't as easy to find shit as it was now. It wasn't really. People still had to make effort in their life to plan things. So I called up a place that did this sort of thing, bachelor party type things, and I asked if they would send a girl for just me. And the guy was like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. That's fucking creepy. Hello? We like our girls coming back alive. Thanks, Dave. So I was like, shit. I'm never going to be able to do this because everybody's going to think I'm going to murder this girl. And I'm not going to murder a stripper. I may torture her for a little bit, but that's not murder, God. So I was at my friend's house, and I was telling my friend Christy, the story, right, about what I was trying to do and how nobody would help a brother out. Nobody would help a new 18-year-old brother out. So she was like, "Oh, I'll get it for you," and I was like, "How? What do you mean? How are you gonna get it for me?" And she was like, "I'll call a place. I'll tell them you're my husband, and I want to do this for you as a birthday gift or something." And, they'll think, oh, well, he's married. He's not a psychopath. And I'll just tell him your address, and the girl will go there. And I was like, that'll work? You see, here I am, naive and 18, thinking these quote-unquote legit escort entertainment agencies have any kind of morals, So I was like, are you sure it'll work? And she was like, well, let me try. So she calls up in front of me, and she sets the thing up, and it's no problem. They're like, oh, okay, cool. We'll send her over there, you know, whenever. And I was like, holy shit. Thank you. Thank you for aiding me. So I go back to my house. Now, I have no idea who they're going to send, but I figure it doesn't really matter now, does it? Because I'm doing this solely for the story, which someday in the future, when they have things called podcasts, I'll be able to tell it to nobody. Turns out I was right. So I'm sitting at home and I'm nervous. I'm like, shit, man. What if the girl, what if the girl comes in and she's, what if she's not, what if I'm not into her? I don't know what's going on, what's gonna happen, right? So anyway, the girl comes over and she's got like a guy with her, who's gonna make sure I don't kill her / ransack my house while I'm not paying attention. So they come in, and the girl was fine looking. That she wasn't particularly awesomely hot. She wasn't particularly ugly. She was fine. I mean, you could do a whole lot worse for yourself. I coughed and hiccuped at the same time. You could do a whole lot worse for yourself calling blind, right? And saying, I need a girl here, I need a stripper, whatever. Right? I could have done way worse than I did. She was fine looking. So anyway, she comes in. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm not crazy. I'm not creepy. Just come with me. Come with me, right? So anyway, I sit down, and she's like, all right, I have some music. I'm gonna put on some music. And I was like, all right, great. So I sit down and I'm like, this is so great. This story's going to be awesome. And she says, do you have any alcohol? And I said, no. I mean, the first thing that ran through my head was, oh, wow, alcohol. Oh, I get it, alcohol. Why'd she want alcohol? So I said to her, no, I don't have any alcohol. What are you, going to blow fireballs or something? I thought maybe she was going to do some exotic, take some alcohol and start blowing, fireballs. I don't know why I thought that, but that was the first thing that came to mind. That she was going to, put on a show, or like a Cirque du Soleil with tits. Obviously, she wasn't going to blow fireballs. Unfortunately. I think I would have had to pay extra for the fireballs. But, she said, no, no, nothing like that, And then I thought, oh, she just wants to get drunk. So wait a minute. Then I got offended, right? I didn't outwardly seem offended, but on the inside, right? In my head, I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? Alright, so I'm gonna pay you to come over my house. I'm gonna give you money to come over my house and get drunk? I'm gonna pay you to drink all my shit? And it's not like, well, no, Dave, you should have gotten her drunk and then, done your thing. No, she had the fucking guy there, right? I would have had to get him drunk too, and then who knows what kind of hijinks would have happened. But anyway, I told her no. Because I'm not going to pay for someone to come drink all the alcohol in my house, right? So anyway. I sit there and I'm like, all right, well, let's get this party started, huh? Right? My boner was like, Dave, this is cool. Thanks for the Christmas present. So I'm sitting there. She puts on music. And I'm thinking, all right, what kind of sexy dancing stripper music are you going to put on for me, sweetie, huh? Melissa Etheridge starts blasting in my house. I can think of few boner-reducing musicians than Melissa Etheridge, who's a fucking lesbian. And I have to sit there and take it. Like, I'm paying for this. So she starts dancing and writhing around on the floor. To Melissa Etheridge. And my small little boner is like, Dave, we had a deal. You sold me out. My prick still doesn't like to talk about it. So she starts dancing to Melissa Etheridge. Now, what the fuck am I going to say? No, turn this shit off? I wanted to take out a gun and shoot myself. And say, you know what? Have all the alcohol you need. I'm out of here. So I'm sitting there, and I'm making the face like, oh, hot. And I was like, all right, well, try not to let the music just totally fuck up, you know, this is still cool, right? This is still neat. Let's roll with this. So she starts, the girl starts dancing on the floor and crap. And then, like, she gets on my lap and starts doing, like, the lap dance thing or whatever. And I say, because I always like to ask, right, when I'm at a strip club or something, because you should be considerate. You should be polite. I say, is it alright if I grab your boobs? I guess that's as eloquently as I put it. I mean, when they're in your fucking face, what are you gonna say, right? No thanks? I say, please, can I have another or 6? So I asked her, and she said, well, you can, but, I kind of prefer if you didn't. Like, oh, so I can, but you'd prefer if I didn't? Alright, so I won't. So immediately I start grabbing her. I mean, if you're gonna make me listen to Melissa Etheridge, I'm gonna knife fuck you. I mean, I'm going to do all sorts of horrible things if I have to put up with this shit. So anyway, I forget how long it lasted. But eventually, I paid her. Her and her friend left, and that was that. So that was my story about the stripper who came over my house and started blasting Melissa Etheridge, and then I asked her if I could grab her hooters, and she says, you can, but I kind of don't, I'm not really into that too much. Well, sorry, I am. Well, that sucks to be you then, because I fucking love it, sister. So Melissa Etheridge, holy shit. And anyway, they left, and I took my CD player and I threw it the fuck away. No, I didn't. But so I was like, all right, cool. So I'll scratch that off my list of shit to do now that I'm 18. That was like my grand finale, right? That was like the big thing, the closer of I'm 18 now. I'm gonna call a stripper and she's gonna come blow fireballs all over the place to Melissa Etheridge, but no fireballs. So yeah, and this ties into my other story, the story of my very first car accident. I like to consider myself an okay driver, and I've been in 2 or maybe 3 car accidents in my life, and none of them were my fault. None of them were really, well, my first one was god awful. No one was hurt, but it was, both cars totally wrecked. But no one was hurt, but two little fender benders and one real. My first car accident was pretty bad, but nobody was hurt, so that's good. But when I was in high school, it was keep in mind it was around this time, so I had bought my magazines. I had bought my porn magazines, right? World Class Ass Club magazine, and I bought a few of them, and I had like 3 or 4 of them. And I was so nervous about having these magazines at the time that I didn't, like, I had brought them to school to show, like, hey guys, check it out. I went out and I bought some smut magazines. How cool is this? How cool / pathetic is this? Excuse me. So I kept the magazines under the passenger seat of my car, right? it's just where I had them stashed, right? So, you know, some weeks go by or whatever, and there was this girl in my school. She was a few years younger than me, but you know, but I have no morals. And I was so into this girl. I thought she was awesome. God, she was so, she had like the whole goth thing going. And this was in, you know, 98, I think. 98, 97, 98. And which is like the whole goth thing was kind of going into full swing, right? And my thoughts on goth girls in general, I really, I love it, right? I love the look and everything. But there's a very, very fine line between looking completely fucking ridiculous and pulling it off. And really going the whole nines, you know, with the black lipstick and shit, and not looking like a fucking goofball. So, there was this one girl who had the whole goth thing going. She had, I'm not going to say her name because it's rude, you know. She had, her hair was short, it was black, and she had a red streak in the front. And this drove me fucking crazy. It drove me crazy taxi, folks. And I loved this girl. And, for some reason, like, I was having a Big Mac eating contest with my friend, and I won, of course. The fool dared to challenge me to a Big Mac contest. But I'll tell you my eating contest stories later. Some other time for my eating contest stories. I have a few. So, like, she would be around sometimes. Like, I'd be hanging out with some of my friends, and she would be, like, there hanging out with some of her friends. It was never, like, we never really talked, but sometimes, every now and again, we'd be hanging out at the same place in the general group of the same people, okay? So one time, I went up to her and I just said, "Hey, you are gorgeous. Is there any way we can go out? You know, let's go out sometime, right?" So I got her phone number and we talked on the phone a couple of times, and we had planned to go to a mall, you know, a whiles away, and I was like, "This is fucking fantastic. This is great. This is what I'm waiting for, right? Awesome. Now I'm gonna kill this girl and bury her in a field, along with my stripper and her Melissa Etheridge collection. The Criterion Collection by Melissa Etheridge. By Mr. Melissa Etheridge. So, oh, with the raspy voice. Oh my god, what a fucking mess, right? Boner destroyer, probably turned me gay. If that would have happened before I worked that Great Adventure, then I could see how Sean would have thought I was gay. Anyway. So, at this time also, I was getting really into Magic the Gathering with some friends of mine. So, in the back seat of my car, I had all my cards, right? And I had them in some, like, you know, in like shitty boxes and stuff. Not the cool, spiffy card boxes you get. I just had them kind of like a big mess in my back seat, you know, in like a big shoebox or whatever. I had my cards in there. So the time comes, the day comes. I try to make myself look presentable, right? I get in my car, my 1986 Capri. What was it? 1986 Mercury. It was a Mercury Capri, a 1986 black Mercury Capri. I love that fucking car so much. I'm not a car guy, but I love that car. If I could have that car right now, today, you know, for the rest of my life, I would take it in 2 seconds. I loved the way that car looked. Anyway, it was such a cute little hatchback. I named it Simon. It was adorable. So, I'm all ready. I pick her up, and remember before how we were talking about the good way to pull off the whole goth thing and the bad way? She comes out with like a fucking, like a bandana on her head with these retarded skulls all over it. And my face, I'm not very good at hiding how I feel about things. And if you're around me and if you're like standing by me and I'm upset or I don't like something or someone, you can probably tell by my face. I'm not very good at hiding how I'm very easy to tell how I'm feeling. By looking at the rolls on the back of my neck, you can the colors, the round, the plumpness of the rolls. You can read my emotions clearly. And my face probably dropped because she looked a fucking mess. Like, I felt embarrassed. And she's covering up her hair. Why would you do, if you have the beautiful, perfect short hair with the red, oh my god, it was so perfect. Why, in the name of all that is good, why would you want to cover that up? And if you were gonna cover it up, why would you do so with the shittiest, dumbest, skull-infestedest bandana I've ever seen? Anyway, I tried to block it out. I was like, you know what, Dave? Make lemonade out of lemons. So we left. Got in the car. Driving to the mall, right? On the way to the mall, not even 5 minutes into our journey, we're driving down the road, and a car in the opposite lane is making a turn. And they decide it would be nice to turn right in front of me, and like a huge fucking I mean, this crash was like the front end of their car was underneath their tires. Like, they pulled right in front of me coming the opposite way. It wasn't quite like a T-bone deal, but like the front corner of their car, like, just turned right in front of me, right? And we hit him, and the front of my car was all fucked up. My beautiful car. It took forever to get fixed. Yeah, so anyway, when we hit the car, right, I had forgotten that my my magazines were under the passenger seat. She's sitting in the passenger seat. So, issues of World Class Ass Club fly out from under the seat to where, you know, like her feet would be. Porn magazines, right? My little stash of porn magazines that I fucking forgot I had there. So they fly out, and they're like playing. I see them, right? Like, it was like in slow motion, right? I don't remember anything but that. I remember looking over and seeing them by her feet, and I like Ralphie from A Christmas Story. I was like, oh, fudge. And my magic cards in the back in the shitty box just exploded, right? And it's raining fucking magic cards. There's porno on the floor. In less than 1 second, I'm a pervert and a fucking dork. It was the worst combination of shit that could have happened to me, right? So luckily everyone was alright. Nobody was hurt. But, you know, I was fucking humiliated. Like, I can never see this. I know she saw the magazines, too. They fell, like, right by her feet. When she was getting out of the car, she had to have noticed pages and pages of tits and fucking ass. And, so, you know, we get out of the car, and there's magic cards everywhere, and there's fucking porno magazine. I couldn't believe it. We didn't even get to the mall. Like, we didn't even get to hang out at all. It happened right away. I didn't have time to build, like, good credit with her, you know? It was immediate, never gonna see this fucking freak dork again. And I didn't even, like, after that accident, I didn't call her again. I never talked to her. Like, I knew, just don't even bother. It's done. Let it go, Indy. Let it go. So I never called her again. I think, like, years later, I ran into her at the mall or something, and, like, she remembered me, and she gave me a hug, and I thought it was nice. And, but God, that killed me, man. That killed me. thinking back on that, I can't. World class ass club. Everybody. My cat's cracking up. You hear him? Listen to that. Listen to that guy go. Ugh. So that's my story time. See how that's kind of tied in together? Because I had to tell the 18-year-old story and how I was doing everything I could now that I was 18. I had to tie those stories, together. So there you go. Two stories from my past that I hope you enjoyed. And, I hope you enjoyed all of this episode of Nuclear Clown Radio. It's episode 11, the first episode of 2011. Wow.